Okay, so yesterday I did a quick little 2 minute video, 2 minute 11-second video, I believe. Yeah, 2 minute 11-second video in 4K. I posted it in 4K. On episode 19, which got an early release in China along with episode 20. And everybody that has seen the episode so far, that's actually taken the opportunity to watch the episode, courtesy of several different links, have given different opinions about episode 19 and what it means. And there's one person I want to mention and bring it up here for a second. This person over at Equestria Daily called the Dragon Warlock. This was posted about, I'd say, 21 hours ago. And they posted this on the Equestria Daily's menu, or at least one of the main article pages, talking about the episodes. And they mentioned this in the comments section using a bit of spoilers. So yes, there will be some spoilers, just in case you guys want to listen to this or you don't. But this is what Dragon Warlock said in response to a lot of comments that were being mentioned on the Equestria Daily comment board for episode 19 and 20, along with some of the comments, because it relates to some of the comments that appear at other message boards like MLP Forums, forums.equestriadaily.com, some of the Facebook group pages, some of the Twitter pages. So, this is what Dragon Warlock had to say about 21 hours ago, and I quote. This is what Dragon Warlock had to say in response. This was the response to how they saw and viewed the episode, and this is why I'm bringing it up, because I'm going to talk about this in a moment. But this is what they say, and I quote. Something to talk about for episode 19. Again, this is Dragon Warlock, and here's what they say, and I quote. Some people seem to think this episode brings an end to Sparity, aka Rarity and Spike, and the shipping is sunk. However, the answer is a simple no. It's far from being sunk. Contrary to what some people may think, I don't think this episode sunk Sparity. It gave it more strength when you think about it. People keep thinking Rarity was ignoring Spike, and in this episode she learned the hard way about how useful and helpful he's been to her. Rarity had to learn that Spike isn't going to be with her, and she got jealous of him hanging with Gabby. That's Gabrielle the Griffin from the episode, I think around, what was it, season 5 or 6 of the episode, The Fault in All Cutie Marks. But anyway, continuing. Gabby too had realized she was hogging Spike a bit too much, and learned the same feeling Rarity had about Spike not being around her. They both have learned to share Spike in their own way. And something I should point out is that Spike seemed like he was still interested in Rarity and wanting to be with her. He was shocked to learn Rarity loved being with him, and that at the end he always looked forward to being with Rarity and spending time with her. So no, I don't think Sparity has been sunk. It just gained a new rival in the form of, get this, Sparity, which is short for Spike and Gabby. So while this episode doesn't 100% confirm Sparity, I still hold a belief that it's still strong as ever. Besides, there's always a harem if it comes down to it. And of course that last part about the harem is a bit of a joke. But yeah, basically what Dragon Warlock is bringing up there is, yeah, it's obvious that they are a Sparity fan, and there are others that have talked about it as well. Some even, I think, at the MLP forums brought up the fact that, and as well as at the Equestria Daily with the comment section, brought up the fact, I think someone mentioned this, that, you know, at the end of the episode, Spike was holding Rarity's hoof. They were kind of hoof in hand at the end of the episode, and then Pinky kind of said her line, which may or may not imply that, that's how it works, kind of deal. Like, I don't know if she's implying to, putting the gems in the basket, or, speaking in a certain way so it doesn't disturb the bats in the cave, or basically just acknowledging in her own pinkish way Spike and Rarity being more than just friends. But the point that again, others like Dragon Warlock have been trying to bring up is this episode doesn't destroy the Spike and Rarity shipping. As a matter of fact, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a supporter of the romance, if you will, but I'm saying this because it's very obvious. It doesn't destroy it. If anything, it does strengthen it. It does give it just a bit more confirmation that it is a thing. However, what others have brought up about this episode, those that have seen it, what they've mentioned in some of their answers on Equestria Daily and at several of the message boards is the fact that this episode is very similar in tone to several episodes we have seen before. One noticeably that's brought up is make new friends but keep Discord. Because if you remember that episode, Discord was kind of disappointed that Fluttershy hadn't invited him to go with her to the gala that year, to the Galloping Gala, I think. And instead, she was taking her friend Treehugger, who was a new character. So, long story short, Discord tried to one-up Fluttershy, but then learned in the end that even though Fluttershy was spending more time with this new friend of hers in Treehugger, it didn't mean she was not going to still be spending time and hanging out with Discord. Because have we seen Treehugger ever since then, except for maybe in a cameo and all that? In the background? Not really. And who has Fluttershy spent most time with outside of the main group? Discord. In the episode prior to this, they teased the fact that she wants to spend the rest of her life with Discord. But again, getting back on topic, fans bring that up along with the episode All Owls That All Ends Well, or something like that, where Spike gets jealous of Twilight's pet owl. And then I think there's another episode besides that. There's several episodes, I think, in the series that have dealt with a similar scenario. But the reason this one is probably the most talked about, even though it does have an identical plot point, in a sense, is because the Spike and Rarity ship has been something that's been going on since season 1. And every person in the fandom, whether they're a well-renowned analyst and reviewer, or they're just getting into the fandom over the past several years like I have, or really getting into it, or just getting into it now recently over the past few seasons. This is a ship that obviously is this relationship, romance, affection, attraction, if you will, between the two characters of Rarity and Spike has been something that was one of the first things that caught a lot of people's attention. And even if you're a longtime fan and you've been following it or knowing about it since season 1, it's been one of those subplots in the series, character plots, that you've always wanted to have resolution to some way, somehow. And this episode here, even though it follows the same, like I said, plot lines, similar plot lines, or story arc that, like I said, the episode people bring up a lot, make new friends but keep Discord, followed, is because of the fact that this is this is an episode that a lot of fans were hoping they'd get resolution to, get confirmation to. They would finally kind of give us an answer, yay or nay. And apparently it's still, in my opinion, a yay, that yes, these two are an item. Because, yeah, Rarity had to learn that even though Spike wouldn't be around her all the time, and he's gonna go out and hang out with other species that he has things in common with, it doesn't mean he's never going to stop being with her. He even says, and this is what I caught when I saw a scene that somebody put up, he said that he's always that even though he had a fun time with Gabriella, that he always wants his Rarity time. And when he said that, he held her hoof in his hand. So, to me, the Sparity thing is still there. It's still alive and well. And like Dragon Warlock said, all this episode did was strengthen it and make it stronger. That's all it did. But what this episode also did, in a very subtle way, is it made Rarity realize, even though, and I will say this, I will agree with this, the way the creative staff gets around the whole love situation when it comes to certain shippings, if you will, acknowledgeable or very noticeable shippings in the show, is by using the term friends. They quote unquote use the word friends, or really, really good, or really good friends, or however they do it, to kind of work around that. They do that with Lyra and Bonbon, and here they're doing it with Rarity and Spike. But it's very obvious to a longtime fan's eye that when they watch this episode, if they haven't watched it already, or they will watch it, that Rarity's jealousy is not jealousy of a friend, of someone whose best friend is spending time with someone else that they have something in common with, because that could be easily understandable. Like, oh, he's got more in common with Gabby than I thought. That's cool with me. I'll let them spend time with each other. I'll just go figure something else out. And a lot of people do that. No, the jealousy that Rarity was going through was jealousy of love. Was like, and I hate to say this, of a jealous girlfriend who mistaked a female co-worker or friend of her boyfriend's as being a rival in love. So that's basically how Rarity's actions, and a lot of people would probably agree, came off in this episode. I mean, all the moments. I mean, in fact, Mighty Muffins on Twitter posted some screenshots, and there are some moments in there that you're like, whoa, Rarity, where did this side of you come from? Like, what's gotten into you? And to me, I kind of joked a little bit when I was thinking about this, can kick out of some of these screenshots. I was thinking, what happened? Did Cupid suddenly shoot its arrow at Rarity and it hit her as soon as she was around Spike, and bam, all of a sudden the sight just came out? Sometimes you wonder, right? But what this is attributed to, actually, with Rarity is, we've seen this in a lot of media. And it takes certain moments and certain situations for the male or female character to realize how much the other that they just consider like a best friend or a good friend means to them. And that's basically Rarity's situation here. She realizes how much Spike means to her. And probably not just as a friend. I mean, the links that she goes to in this episode really is telling. And like I said, from a longtime fan's perspective, it's not a jealousy of, oh, I'm losing my best friend to somebody else because he wants to spend more time with that person because they have that in common. No, this is the jealousy of someone that's in love, who's finally realizing that the friendship that they have for someone is developed and he has evolved and developed into something more than that. And that's the takeaway you get with this episode. And again, going back to what Dragon Warlock said, this episode does not shoot down Sparity. It does not shoot down the Spike Rarity relationship. I mean, if that was the case, then Spike hanging out with Applejack would have done that in Spike at Your Service. You know, Spike hanging out with Starlight a lot would have done that. Never happened. Mainly what we get here, and I'm not trying to be mean about this, but mainly what we get it from a lot of individuals that don't like Spike and Rarity as an item, is we have people that are jumping the gun. They see something and they feel that, yes, this is it, this is what we've been wanting, we finally get what we want, the end of Spike Rarity. No, that's not what's happening. What's happening is this is an episode that, in my way, subtly confirms Spike and Rarity as an item. It very subtly does that. And if this is the only time we're going to get some kind of subtle acknowledgement and confirmation, then I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Because it's like Jim Miller said in his farewell/thank you letter. He said that even after the show's done, he knows the fans out there will carry on the legacy through web comics, motion comics, fan animations, you know, fan fictions and all that. So even if we don't get a true resolution as fans would want, or a true confirmation, we fans will be there to be, according to Jim Miller, will be there to pick up the slack on these kind of things. But I thought I'd just come out here and kind of give my thoughts about that, and you know, let you hear and read off what Dragon Warlock at Equestria Daily had to say, and give their thoughts. Had to say, well, give what they had to say, I should say, by giving their thoughts on the situation. And let me know what you all think, though. Do you agree with what Dragon Warlock had to say? Comment down below. Let me know what you all think. Do you agree with some of the things I had to say? And that's about it. So let me know what you guys think, and talk to you all later. God bless. Take care.